And that is our Monday morning worth of work. So good morning everybody, and a merry morning, because I guess it's Christmas for you guys. However, we are putting down the first layer, the first spray layer of Plastidip to seal Vetra. I'm using my spray gun setup because I'm proper fancy and have a big compressor to run a proper spray gun, so may as well. And hopefully it will dry out in time for us to put another layer down, because I'm trying to get this done before we lose the light today, and the dew drops and everything gets moist, because I don't want to spray this indoors, because as you've just seen, there's a lot of fumes that go everywhere. And it will cover my entire studio. But anyway, it's been a fine Monday. Therapy this morning, so I got my last mask posted. I've got 2 Zenyatas that I need to sort out, but I'll get those out this week, because this week is the first week where I don't have university. It is our winter break, so now this is what I get to do all day. I am now full-time self-employed for a few weeks, and you know what? I'm going to use that time to finish projects, Vetra, get on with other projects, Mercy, and finish the little odds and ends I've done, and also try and develop a better way of presenting my full cosplay costumes, because I've been a little bit nervous about trying to set up video logs of of Vetra, because in the same way that I started trying to log my Mercy build, and that just petered out because I lost the time, the knowledge and the tools, because our 3D printer's been packed in, kind of, to really carry on. I was really worried about the same thing happening to Vetra, so I didn't want to get people's hopes up, but we're almost finished. So we'll get on that, but for now, getting late. We've got no direct sunlight to help the Plastidip evaporate. However, it uses like its own solvent thinners, so in theory it should still set okay, because it's not waiting on water evaporating, it's waiting on a solvent evaporating. I mean, water is a solvent, but anyway, I'm going to eat an orange whilst I wait for that. So, Merry Christmas, people. See you tomorrow. It is my favourite type of alliteration. That is a Turian Tuesday, because we have base coated all of the parts of our foam armour, and now we get to spray it with paint. It's so good. We're actually making progress on this. How good is that? In fact, actually, it's quite bright today, so hopefully direct sunlight's going to help with the paint, because we are going to be using Flexipaint. We're going to mix some acrylic paint with Flexipaint, put that layer down over the Plastidip, and then we're going to seal it with Plastidip, because Plastidip comes out matte, whereas Flexipaint comes out gloss, which, in my opinion, is a problem, because it gives a very cartoonish look to things. However, right now, I need to take a paint inventory and make sure I have all the correct colours to paint this. And whichever ones I don't, there's an art store just down the road that I'm going to go to and grab some acrylic inks, maybe some acrylic paints, and we're going to get this whole thing sorted. So I'm going to be base coating it in a kind of neutral grey, and then we'll be painting over it, because putting a base colour down is very important if you want the vibrancy of what are some quite light colours. There's some light greys and some blues on there, so a nice neutral grey will be good. So, go through this and then to the shops. Onwards! More Tuesday, and we are back from thing with paint, and yeah, let's get this painted. Right, so it's a Wildlife Wednesday today because look at this little fella. He is, or she, I'm not really sure how to gender a mouse, but they are someone who almost outsmarted both myself and my partner last night as I spotted them in the kitchen, chased them into a dead end and managed to capture them. And they escaped us a couple of times, but we captured it, put them in this tub with some water and some peanut butter because, you know, we like to think we're ethical people. But now I have come to this Seaview Park, whatever it's called. I pass this park every day on my way to university and I've never actually managed to go there. But as you can see, it is gorgeous, but it is also a lovely woodland. So we've transferred the mouse into this little tub here. So we are going to release it into the wild, hopefully far enough away that it doesn't make its way home to us. I mean, I feel a little bit bad about doing this because, like, it's winter and it's not going to be nice out here for it. Let's find a good place to release it. But in theory, this being like a public park area means there should be lots of crumbs around, lots of people leaving food. So we have the mouse. There's some cover right here, so it has a good opportunity to get out and have its and go back into the wild. And then we get to go and run our errands for the day and hopefully finish painting Vetra, right? Boop. And then there it goes. Aw. Bye-bye, Bryony. Yeah, we named it. Anyway, see you back in the studio. Ha! So it is our warmer Wednesday today, and that means that we should have better luck with getting this to dry today. Although, to be fair, this has come out quite well, but it's really not high enough pigment because unfortunately the Flexipaint itself is white, so it's hard to judge the paint, much like with latex. And then you can see on here how it is incredibly spotty. So we are going to lower the amount of water that goes into this and try and spray it a bit neater because we've got a big powerful compressor, so we should be able to force out a lot more at once. However, I'm contending with the fact that it's a little bit spitting today, so it's quite moist. It's not the best time for spraying, but got to get this done before Christmas. So let's go! We get to use my favourite alliteration again today with a Turian Thursday because, well, it's not even lunchtime yet and I'm about to start the heating in the studio up. Then I'm going out buying snacks and then we are going to spend the entire rest of the day streaming painting Vetra because we've primed it all. So we sealed the foam with Plaster Dip because we can spray that on to get a really nice even coat. Then I tried doing a very even mix, a very liquid mix of Flexipaint and acrylic ink with a lot of distilled water to get it to flow because acrylic ink doesn't have much mass to it. So, but either way, turns out it was either too cold for for a water-based solution like that to work, or it was just too liquid. But then yesterday I used a much thicker preparation and relied on the fact that I have quite a powerful compressor to force it through my spray gun, and it's worked really well. We have a nice smooth surface over basically everything that we're going to paint on today. However, it has highlighted a bunch of the problems we have with our detailing. You see it's quite knobbly in there. However, hopefully we should be able to hide all that in the paint job. It's better on these ones, but you know, one of the problems I've been facing, look at that dislocated jaw. One of the problems I've been facing with this entire build and all my cosplay in general is that I'm way too perfectionist when it comes to these things. So much so that I don't get things done. However, we're going to sort it out now. So I'm going to get snacks for the rest of the day and just going to lock myself in here until it's painted. Oh, I might even get to call myself a cosplayer soon because I'll have finished the costume. Right, heating on, snacks get, and yeah, I will see you all on stream in a few minutes. A Friday that I can't think of alliteration for because I am super tired, and if you give me one moment to make my watch play, I'm super tired because I don't know if this will come over particularly well on the camera, but that's how much sleep I got last night because I was up super late drinking coffee, energy drinks, and painting Vetra! So you'll have seen that on the little stream highlights and like sort of thing, time lapse before, but the last 3 days we have last 4 days, sorry, we have spray sealed it with 2 coats of plaster dip. We've then attempted to prime it with a coat of Flexipaint mixed with some acrylic inks, and that didn't work because acrylic ink doesn't have much mass to it. So I had to mix in a lot of distilled water, and with the amount of distilled water that we put in it, it was too runny to lay down a good layer on it, or at least I mixed it too runny. And then the next day, the third day, I went back to it and sprayed it with a mixture of acrylic paint rather than inks and the Flexipaint. It was pretty thick, but I relied on the fact that I got a big chunky compressor and a proper spray gun, and it got a fantastic layer down. I'm actually really impressed with the effect I've got. Because this is properly flexible. There's no tearing of the pigment in any of this. I'm really happy with that. So Flexipaint's really worked. I'm not too happy with the kind of satin effect that it's gotten, but, swings and roundabouts. I will be sealing it with a clear coat of plaster dip anyway, so that should give it a matte effect. But anyway, why am I back in here after a morning of running errands and I'm so tired. I was just too excited last night to sleep. But we're back here because there's more colours that are needed on Vetra. We're going to hit it up with some metallics. There's some silver and some brass bronzy bits, and then we are going to weather it. Unfortunately, it is too drizzly outside to spray another plastic coat ceiling layer, so that may have to wait till tomorrow, or I will end up spraying it in here, but that takes a big setup, and also it's really hard to, since I'm in here at the moment, I'm not going to stream spraying the plastic coat down because the compressor is real loud, and this is an enclosed environment, and I'm not going to lock myself in an enclosed environment with that piece of heavy machinery. A successful Saturday, as this is the fallout from our last stream. Well, I say fallout, we are a bit disorganized, not disoriented, all around here from basically 10 hours of streaming in 2 days. But I'm so happy with this. It's painted. It is all finished painting. Everything for Vetra, apart from the visor. All the painting is finished. I've got the visor, the snood, I've got to seal it with plastic coat, and I've got to do the electronics. And there was one more thing which I seem to have washed off the back of my hand because I wrote it on when I was streaming last night. But I've got a photo of it, so you know. Right, there's a few things that I'm unhappy with actually. I feel I have gone a bit aggressive with the battle damage on here. Like on the back here, it feels a bit aggressive. It looks like I've just been through a war zone rather than just it being a bit worn. So a lot of these are a lot chunkier than I would have liked. And there's some parts where I've put these little flecks of metallic paint where I haven't put the black or the like little bit of discoloration, because I think that's what really sells like the little chips along the edges. But you know what? It's a learning experience, and at the end of the day, technically, and it is a bit disingenuous for me to say this, but this is literally my first big foam cosplay armor build. So I've been building stuff and making stuff out of foam for ages, but I've never done foam cosplay. I've never done it in this way. So this is all a big, nice surprise. And also, like, I have to say, the Flexipaint is holding up, so that's good. So I think the actual learning stuff I learned from all my experimentation was use both Flexipaint and plastered it for different things. Now it's raining outside, so I've got to set up my makeshift spray booth in the back of my studio now to get this sealed, and then tonight we can glue the rest of it together and have the whole costume together, and I can sew the snood, finish the visor, and the entire costume will be finished before Christmas. Speaking of which, I need to finish my Christmas presents. I need to wrap my Christmas presents! Hey friends, it is Sunday and I'm just waiting for my computer, my stream computer, to boot, because we're about to stream and actually, you know, finish this whole thing. And why do I have bloodshot eyes? Well, there are two answers to that. One, the actual direct answer is because I want to do a full test of Vetra. Why would that give me bloodshot eyes? Because I just spent 45 minutes trying to get my contact lenses in, because I like these lenses. They look perfect. They're like the perfect colour combination for Vetra with the eyes. Well, they're not exactly perfect, but they're the best things on the market. And apparently, despite wearing contacts for a month, like 2 years ago in practice, I still never got the hang of it. But then again, I think these are lower quality ones. But either way, we have to wear Vetra for the first time ever all together. Oh, we're going to do it on stream and it's the best. But right now we have to finish this visor that goes over the face. I have the electronics, I've got the batteries, I've got all of that. So let's cut to me streaming. Ah! Putting all that extra work into like blacking out around the lips has really helped, because even when I open my mouth really wide, it's still dark in there. And then we have our We have the eyes in. So we have just finished the stream. We have just finished the stream on Sunday, and as you can see, the entire costume's done. It is we've literally finished it before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and we've finished the entire costume. And I am not somebody who finishes things. This is insane to have actually finished it. I'm aghast. It feels so weird to think that next week I'm not going to come here and push myself for 6 hours of streaming time to get work done in this. Yes, I need to do some accessories now, and I need to sort the visor out because it's not perfect. It's not a great system, but I'm just so happy with this entire thing. I don't even know what we do now. What do we do now? What's next? I don't know. I'm gonna have a Vetra shaped hole in my time for the next few weeks. Oh. Anyway, thank you to everybody for joining me. It has been great to have you here. If you've joined us for the streams, your support has been invaluable through this build process, as I would not have had the fortitude to finish this off without you. If you are just here and you just comment on these videos, that's also fine. That's also cool. That is also support that I value immensely. So thank you to everybody for being here, and I'll see you next year, is it at this point? No, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Bye.